How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Bathrobe Never Uploads here, back at it again with some neat content for you, here to talk about my favorite Pokemon in the current Gen 8 OU metagame, Lapras. Weird pick, I know, but hear me out, alright? The Lapras stock has gone down a teensy bit as of yesterday, with Galarian Darmanitan finally being banned. I don't know, I don't have too much to say on that, Pokemon and others haven't already touched on upon, it deserved to be banned. I'm annoyed that it wasn't suspect tested and it was quick banned to make way for, I think it's SPL coming up, but whatever. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Lapras, right? The GOAT defensive check to a lot of the annoying common physical threats in the current OU metagame. So my set kind of looks like this: max HP, 72 attack, 180 defense, plus nature minus speed, for special attack. And Rest, Ice Shard, Freeze Dry is the main core. It originally had Iron Head for Galarian Darmanitan, and that's just enough attack for a guaranteed 2-hit KO with Iron Head. But essentially a full health Lapras is able to 1v1 successfully the majority of our offensive threats in the metagame. You don't really need Iron Head anymore, so that kind of makes room for, Body Slam, Body Press. There's a, Pear Song, Sleep Talk, if you want to, keep it around a little longer, Waterfall, Surf, whatever. Some neat picks. So again, Relax Nature. Here's the exact copy and paste of what I have going for it. Neat little Water Ice type. And for you guys looking for a non-G-Darm team, I have this team here. I'll just go over quickly. We got Offensive Clef, Ferrothorn, Titar, Excadrill, Dragapult. Neat, right? So if you're looking for a team to not only check out this Lapras out, but to be able to go into the metagame without Darmanitan, here you go. So let's now get into a little bit more of the specifics. I'll go over Darm real quickly because obviously it's no longer with us. But this is your typical Scarf Darm, right? Jolly. Its strongest move, Flare Blitz, is doing 31 max. That's a guaranteed 4-hit KO, whereas Iron Head is a 2-hit KO. So that's pretty neat, right? You're able to come in on it and just really fuck it up. And even if it U-turns on you, it only does 15, because Lapras has an incredible base 130 HP and base 80 defense is aight. Oh, fuck. Alright. And, Barraskewda, another annoying one. Liquidation obviously can't do anything because we are Water Absorb, which is a pretty neat. Helps out a lot. Bulky waters with Water Absorb. Shit. Close combat from a Life Orb, Adamant, which I think is the most common set right now, 69 to 81, so it can't kill you. You're able to Freeze Dry and then Ice Shard. And unless you get min rolls, you are going to be able to take it out, especially if Stealth Rocks are up. A lot of these calcs come between having hazards up. Let me rephrase, is going to be the difference between hoping you don't get a min roll on your Freeze Dry and then your Ice Shard, and even if you get min rolls, you're picking up the KO. So that's a neat. Thing about Body Press though is I can't imagine a Pokemon you'd be clicking in on other than Ferrothorn, and you're doing 24%, and you're gonna get Iron Barbed, and you're gonna get fucked up by Power Whip. So Body Press, maybe if we can play around with the EVs a little bit. I don't know how much room we have to, because the physical attack investment's very useful for Ice Shard. But we'll see how time progresses, and I'll play around with it some more. Dragapult, despite being a special attacker, Draco Meteor, this is the calc for, twice, is doing 89 to 106, so that's a 62% chance to 2-hit KO, whereas we can Freeze Dry into Ice Shard. Freeze Dry doing 52 min here, Ice Shard doing 32 min here, that's 84, 85 when you deal with the decimals, so, not incredible, but when we're dealing with mid rolls and high rolls and hazards, then all of a sudden this, you beat it. And the Rest Chesto Berry is neat because, as we'll go along later, there's a lot of Pokemon that you can actually rest pretty freely on in the tier. And of course, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, and Shadow Ball not doing as much. So we'll keep going. Here's your Choice Band Dragapult for the few that are still out there, because it does technically have the better offensive stat, but not nearly as good as the move pool or practicality. Dragon Darts is doing your most with a 17.2% chance. Again, you Freeze Dry into double Ice Shard, or you Freeze Dry Ice Shard with hazards up. So that's neat. Draco Vish, which I expect to see rise in popularity in replace of Darmanitan. It's kind of a more fair version of Darmanitan. This is going to be your Jolly, Choice Scarf, Strong Jaw. Fissurous Rend obviously doing 0 because you are Water Absorb. Outrage, not doing that much. Low Kick doing the most. Guaranteed 3-hit KO, so that's still not impressive. Freeze Dry is a guaranteed OHKO at 4 special attack investment. And Psychic Fang is also not doing that much, so that's pretty neat. And that is with the Strong Jaw. So, I mean, you're beating that 1v1 as well. Choice Banded Adamant just for shits and giggles. Not that I think Adamant Band is the set. I feel like most people do Jolly Band, but whatever. Low Kick doing 64. It's a guaranteed 2-hit KO, but it's still dying to Freeze Dry. So you're still fucking it up. Gyarados is kind of the neat one, right? So, you know the common situation, right? You kill a Pokemon, or your opponent doubles, and they get out their Gyarados, right? You know, it's still a threatening physical attacker, even without the G moves, even without Gigantamaxing and all that neat stuff, right? So they DD. As you go hard into your Lapras, they go for the +1 Power Whip. Obviously they have an okay chance to miss, but fuck it, you know, if they don't. 73 to 86. It cannot kill you with Power Whip. Freeze Dry doing 80 min. Ice Shard doing 15 min. I mean, so the chances are extremely in your favor. I don't think I've ever seen it. I've never once, I know this for a fact, had this situation where Gyarados comes out, it Dragon Dances, I go into Lapras, I click Freeze Dry, Ice Shard, and I don't kill it. I'm not even going to mention hazards in this one, though, and yeah, this is the calc for +1. I'm not even going to mention Stealth Rock because most Gyaradoses are boots anyways, so they're not going to take any chip. Other than that, but I mean, still, this is a pretty good situation. We're taking care of, you know, Darmanitan, rest in peace. We're taking care of Dracovish. We're taking care of special and physical Dragapult. We're taking care of Gyarados, and you know, many more other options. It's able to come in on pretty easily. Crawdon, less seen. This is one you won't be picking up a KO with as often with Freeze Dry, Ice Shard. Because you're doing like 80 on average with Freeze Dry and like 10 with Ice Shard, so that's a little shy. Obviously, if you have a Hazard up, that's a way different game. If it's Choice Banded, like what I have right here, Adamant Choice Band, rather than the Dragon Dance set, I mean, should it go for Crab Hammer or Aqua Jet, you'll get some Beeling, you'll force it out, and you get a free hit on something, or you get to double. Crunch and Knockoff are both gonna 2-hit KO. Yeah, so I mean, now let's take a look at the Pokemon in the OU tier that we're going to see right now. If it's a Combine Clefable, a more passive one, very realistically, if you have a Lapras at like half or a little less, you are able to rest up on it. Corsola Galar, absolutely. You don't care about getting Strength Sapped, you don't care about getting Will-O-Wisped or Nightshaded, you're going to be able to heal up on it. Some Corviknight sets you'll be able to do that on. Ditto, you actually beat Ditto tracing, becoming Lapras 1v1 because of Resto Chesto. Hilarious. Like I mentioned, you know, we're fucking up these dudes. Ferrothorn, not so much because Power Whip and Gyro Ball are, you know, doing so much damage to you. They're tossing your shit. Grimmsnarl, again, another one. If it's just gonna bulk up, or if it's just gonna put up a screen or T-Wave you can heal yourself up, save it for another day. Mandibuzz, another one that you can rest on. Pelipper, something you can rest on. Seismitoad, not one that I mentioned because it's not so much an offensive threat, but you will be OHKOing the shit out of it with Freeze Dry. And another Pokemon, you know, you don't care if you're immune to Scald. Earthquake's not doing that much. You don't care if it goes for Stealth Rock or Toxic because you're just going to rest, heal back up. And of course, Toxapex, which you can't really do all that much to even with Freeze Dry, because even if you freeze it, it has Scald, but you can pretty comfortably fucking rest up on this thing. And then of course, you know, these guys are fucking you up. Into the UU tier, it gets a little weirder, but you know, whatever. It's not too often we're going to be seeing a lot of these Pokemon going up a tier into OU. So yeah, I mean, that basically, it's something I've been thinking about a lot, right? I don't have any replays because I'm dumb and I haven't saved any, but I've been using this team nonstop, every day. Every day on breakout work, I'm busting this team out on Showdown on my phone. I'm saucing people up, been using it on stream to great success in viewer battles and on the ladder. And so, yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.